Crime in South Africa is still one of our biggest issues that we're dealing with as a country and a community. We are seeing people dying more than they should, and cases of corruption as well within the police force are another big factor that has eroded trust between the police service and the public. Last month, former Western Cape Police Commissioner Arno Lemoore received an effective 6 years in jail, even though this was lauded, but there is still a lot of errant behaviour to be dealt with inside the department. Joining us now, we are speaking to our Minister in the police, and that's Bheki Cele. Minister, again, we thank you very much for your time. Before the break, we said we're going to tackle the issue of cash in transit heists, which seems to be a massive problem at the moment. Since August 2017 to May, that was last month, 2018, we've had 295 heists. What's going on? Why do we seem to be losing the grip when it comes to heists?
Well, besides the heist, something about heists is terrorism, Leon. The condolences to the principal that was killed, I think it was Friday evening, somewhere in Tembisa. The cash heist there, these guys, they just shot the innocent people that were driving past. One principal has lost his life there. Yeah. Which means not just the cash in transit, it's also terrorism when you begin to kill innocent people. I think we dropped the ball as the South African police when it comes to structures that were dealing with cash CITs. The ball of, I don't know why we take away our highly trained specialized units out of the road. I don't know why we would not equip them with high-powered performing cars out there. I don't know why we would not, maybe I know that the intelligence really dropped the ball. As the Hawks, we dropped the ball because there have been no people dealing with those. Those two are key in terms of dealing with the cash in transit. For the fact now that they are back on that one, we hope we'll be getting the proper grip on the matter. Maybe that's why I guess we're beginning to turn the tide. Your Boksburg one, which is a famous or very famous one, it happened in Boksburg 2-3 weeks back. We have arrested 7 people out of that. Your Polokwane one, we managed to arrest people in 12 hours. So that helps us, it gives us information, but it gives us a better understanding which direction you should take. That we're not going to talk about it now. Meeting the management today is one thing that we're going to be concentrating and working on it.
So we're joined now by Stephen Curtis. I think they're taking this live on SAFM, as I have been promising. Stephen, I hope you can hear us now. We're talking to the Minister, particularly with reference to these cash and transit heists we've been seeing. I don't know if you want to add in a question to the Minister, Stephen?
Yeah, Leanne, thank you. And Minister, good morning to you, and thank you for joining us on SAFM. Joining us on SAFM Sunrise as well. What I did want to ask is, one of the conversations we've been having, and it comes from the unions, it comes from people who phoned in, it comes from the experts we've spoken to, they spoke about the fact that the security companies are charging less now to carry, deliver, fetch, drop off money than they're used to. There seems to be more competition in this market, and I wonder if that has driven what security guards are earning down. It's driven the costs of training down. In other words, there's a profit motive here that maybe is causing some of the trouble. What I'm getting to is there could be a commercial structural reason that perhaps you need to raise in your meeting with these companies today.
Minister?
Well, there was a meeting of the industry of cash in transit last week, and we did attend, I think, as the provincial MEC here, but I spoke to them and I said we need to really enlarge the participation, be part of it and all that. We do have issues. We do have issues with them as the South African police that we'd like to raise with them. Maybe it would be unfair to begin to raise them here. For instance, the Friday cash in heist, you just wonder why people would drive on the dead road near Tembisa when there is R24, when there is R21. Those are the questions maybe that will sit down and work with them. But also the training of the security guards, but also the linkage between the security companies and the police. For instance, if they're going to get out, so we are made aware which direction, which roads are they going to be driving on. So those are the things that we are meeting, and somebody is arranging the meeting that will be talking about those things.
Yeah.
Raise our concerns, they raise their concerns, and we see how to work together.
Yeah, I mean, I think Stephen bringing up a great point there, because that is a big issue, and I think a lot of South Africans thinking, you know what, it's way too coincidental. This seems to be inside jobs, and there could be involvement, whether it be in the security companies or whether it be in the police force as well. Somebody is benefiting from all of this. Have you found anything like this?
Well, for the fact that there are people from the security industry that are arrested for cash in transit, which means that there is a collaboration and collusion between the criminals and the people working there.
Yeah.
As I have said, maybe that I'm not going to be giving details on those matters as I'm sitting here, but that tells you the story that there is collusion somewhere.
All right. Stephen, I'm sure as I do, and you also reading newspapers on a Sunday, but the particular one that jumped up at me yesterday was one where the minister himself came out saying that high-profile murders, these cases need to be either reopened or reprioritized. You brought up 3 ones that you feel need to be reopened. In fact, what you've said is that you're going to be going to each one of the provinces and making sure that they bring to you 3 high-profile cases that they must reopen and they must solve. Now, the one at the top of the list, of course, is Senzo Meyiwa. It's been 4 years. There were witnesses in that house. There's a lot of speculation as to what happened there. Why have the police been dragging their feet? How have they dropped the ball on this case?
Well, Senzo Meyiwa thing is quite a difficult one. Wherever I go, especially when you address the students, they just put it on you to say they don't expect you to take longer to arrest a person who murdered and killed Senzo. There are some of them. I gave 3. Leanne, I did say I'm putting my head on the block. The Senzo Meyiwa thing is going to be pushed, and is going to be pushed very hard. I received the report that I'm completely unsatisfied with it, I think about 2-3 days back, and I'm meeting the team. It's a big team that is working on it at the present moment, but I don't think that we are near to get the proper direction what happened on that day. But as you say, there were people there in front of people and all that kind of thing. It happened when everybody saw what is happening, but nobody wants to come forward and all that. The question of the 3, already that has been requested from the provincial commissioners to say, in your province, give us the top 3 that you believe are the priorities, and not necessarily that the rest of the cases are not priority, are not important, but want to start somewhere. Crack those that the community and the society is expecting us to crack, and we move direct. We can't just have people dying and nobody knows what happened when people were there.
Yeah. Stephen, would you like to add something to this, or perhaps start a new conversation with the minister?
I would, thank you, Leanne. Minister, if I could, 2 of the cases, the Parkway case, the Botswana case, it does look like there might have been a link to politics. Do you think it was convenient for someone to simply, just lose the file, or to stop investigating? Some of these cases do seem to have a political aspect that could make it harder to reopen those files now.
Steve, is exactly what we don't want to pull in here. We want to deal with criminals, we want to take off political faces and all that. We want to say somebody here died, did not die of flu, he was killed, so somebody pulled the trigger. Who pulled the trigger? Usually, when somebody pulls the trigger, there is somebody who sends somebody to pull the trigger. That's where we want to end up, from the trigger puller and up to the level where somebody sent that person to pull the trigger. So we do want to delink it from politics, because it begins to pull you all sideways instead of dealing with the matter. Somebody killed Botswana, we all know, that was shot on the highway, and then we need to find out why was he shot, who shot that person, and the law takes its course.
Yeah. All right. We're heading into the news, but Stephen, I'm sure you also want to find out a little bit more about what's happening at the Police National Management Forum. It's big. It's happening today. You have said that you're going to be making some serious pronouncements there. Are you able to give us a little bit of a glimpse as to what's going to go down today?
Well, one thing that we want to do, we want to take the top management out of their offices and put them on the streets. There are too many of us, there are too many of those officers that are on offices and not working on the ground. Is one announcement that we're going to be doing. We want to do what we have started in Western Cape. We started with Operation Thunder. We have taken 269 police, put them there 3 months, stabilize things, sanitize the streets, and make sure that everything is in order, and we see how long do we sustain it. What we're going to do here in Gauteng, including the police commissioner himself, all deputy commissioners, all station commanders, everybody is going to be on the street. It's a new, as SABC has the new look, independent, impartial, will be having a new ways of policing where everybody is a police and there are less managers and more foot soldiers.
All right, we've got to leave it there, unfortunately. Bheki Cele, the Minister of Police, thank you very, very much for joining us here on Morning Live and SAFM. Stephen, again, thank you very, very much to you and your listeners.